Hello, Miss Hawkinson and friends. I'm here to talk to you about photography today because this week I decided I would switch up the flow. Well, not really. I still read, but I decided to learn something new. So, what I learned this week was how to shoot on an SLR camera. Okay, so this is basically a completely mechanical camera that my mom gave me. It's a Pentax K1000. I don't know if that gives you any memories or any nostalgia, but this was the thing, you know. This was the camera. I don't know. But so this camera is really cool. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about it, and how to use it because this doesn't work like a normal camera where you just snap and shoot or whatever. So basically, right here we have two parts. We have the lens and the body of the camera. So the lens controls like what you can see, and it has a lens cap on right now, but you can take it off and you look through and you can focus the lens by tilting this first knob right here. And you can see that these numbers are moving. And those numbers indicate what range it is focused. So right now it says the camera is focused from 3 feet to 2.1 feet. So just in case you're wondering, yeah, that's what those numbers are for. And they have it in feet and meters. And then on the back side, on the back part, there's this like other thing. And that's called the aperture, this ring that, you know, it rotates. So the aperture is really interesting because it like opens and closes. It basically I guess it opens and closes to let more or less light in. And what it also does is it will give you like more like detailed or like kind of blurred backgrounds. So what happens is when you have these numbers right here, and on my camera it goes from 22 to 2. So 2, it's like I think it's called an f stop, an F. So each one it's like F22 or F11, but basically they're kind of gauges for the size of the hole, because there's like inside of this there's like a little hole that like opens and closes as you're turning this. But basically the gauge, as you move it towards 22 and it gets larger, the hole actually gets smaller, and what happens is the backgrounds get more vivid, but also at the same time it's letting less light into the camera. So you have to adjust that to make sure you're not like overexposing your pictures or underexposing, and I will explain that later. But so we have that, and then as it gets closer to 2, as it gets smaller, as the aperture gets smaller, then the oh no, it slid. But okay. Will it work? No, it won't. We're gonna just act like that didn't happen. Well, so I think we chill it. Yeah. Basically what happens with this is, I was talking about as the aperture gets smaller, the like little gauge gets larger, and so it lets more light in, but the pictures are more blurred in the background and like the periphery. So that's what you want to do if you're doing like portraits or stuff like that, and like more like up close stuff that isn't like as you're not focusing on the background as much. What you can do actually is if you want to change lens, because this is a 50 millimeter lens, so that means that the size of this lens right here is 50 millimeters, which isn't that much. It's like pretty small, but you can get 30, 35. I think you can get smaller lenses, and you can also get way bigger lenses, like a 90 millimeter lens. Yeah, like the larger the lens, like the closer up you'll appear. So like a smaller lens will actually capture things like, you can take like really good close-ups because it's not going to be super zoomed in. Or you can look at stuff that, yeah. But then also if you're doing like, if you're taking pictures of like birds and stuff, you want like a larger lens because the lens is going to be able to like be kind of like more, it's going to be able to like bring things closer so they won't seem as far away, and you won't like have to like, because this camera doesn't like, when it focuses in like only to a certain extent, right? So the furthest I can focus is, let's see, 25, like 25-ish feet, 15 meters. So like 15 times, wait, like 30 feet. I don't know, something like that. Well, maybe more actually, but yeah. So yeah, so about 15 meters, which that's about 45 feet, I think. I'm really not sure. But yeah, yeah, 15 times 3, yeah. But yeah, so what you can do is if you want a different lens, you can press on this little button on the side here. You can't really see out there. And you can like detach it. I don't know. I've actually never done this before, but you can like twist it. Watch me break my camera right now. This is not going as planned. But yeah, so basically you should be able to push in and then twist. Oh, there it goes. And then it comes out. Oh, perfect. And then you can put another one in, but you have to be super, super careful not to let anything happen to these, because if anything gets inside, it can be a real pain. But inside, you can see here's the body. Look, you can see a mirror. Oh crap, I probably just exposed some film. Huh. Well, in that case, I don't know if I did, but we'll see. But basically, you line, okay, there's 2 red dots on this. Perfect. Okay, there's 2 red dots on the inside, one on the lens and one on the body of the camera, and you can twist it. You like line them up and then push it in and then twist it to put it back together, basically. All as you're pushing down that like little lever. So yeah, I think that's a lot that I've told you about the lens. You can clean the lens by using like a little blow thingy. It like just squishes air and like blows things away, or you can use like a microfiber cloth. But yeah, and then now let's get to the body of the camera. I probably should have done that first, but the body of the camera is really cool because it's like completely mechanical, as in you don't like actually use any like electricity. It's all the sun. The sun does its thing, and yeah, it's kind of cool. Hence the name photography, photo, light. But basically, we have a couple things on our camera anatomy. So first thing, we have the viewfinder. It's right here. You look through this to take the picture, and if you take the lens cap off, and here, let's try something. You can look through. Did it work almost? Oh, yes. you can look through. I don't know if you can see, but in there, there's like a little meter on the side. Oops. This is really sucking. There's a little meter. Or if you saw it the first time, I don't know. You might have to pause it and take it. But basically, I don't know. There's a meter on the side, and that tells you if it's underexposed or overexposed. Because, okay, so what happens with this film is the film is special, and there's a chemical reaction that happens when light is exposed to that chemical that's on the film, I think. And basically, the longer light is like exposed to the film, the more developed the film will get. So you don't want to have light hit it for too long, or else you'll just have like a white flash, and you don't want to have it for too short of time, or else you will have it it will be underexposed and dark. So you want to have it right in the middle. There's like a little meter that goes like up and down, and if it's in the middle, then yeah. And then we have the top of the camera. I'm going to show you the top of the camera. They have these little dials. Okay, so what we have here on the left, the far left, is this little thing right here. You can like wind it, and it tells you right here, it says 20. But basically it tells you how many pictures you've taken, and every time you take a picture, you have to wind the camera to get another picture. And then the button over, it does two things. So there's a little box. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a box, a little white box. If you pull that little knob up, you can twist it, and that adjusts your ISO. So each film has its own ISO, which is like the sensitivity to light that it has. So this one is at 400 ISO, which is like basically kind of medium. It's like faster than normal. Like slow ISOs are like 100 ISO or something like that. But fast ISOs are like something like 1,000. It can be up to like 5,000, but yeah. And then on the outer ring, you have like these numbers that go from 1 to 1,000, and those are your shutter speeds. And so that adjusts how fast your, what's it called? It adjusts how fast your shutter will close and open. So that means that like basically, oh, and I'll have to tell you the scale. So it's like 1 over that number. So 1 over 1 would just be like a 1 second, 1 second, it would like the shutter would open and close in 1 second. Or it would be open for 1 second, then close. And then like 1 over 1,000 is really fast. So that would be 1,000th of a second that it would take to close. And or like it'd be open for 1,000th of a second and then close. But yeah, so that adjusts how much light you get in, and you adjust that to make sure that like you're getting the right exposure. So like if you see on the light meter that it's like underexposed, you can adjust the shutter speed to like be longer so it lets in more light, and then it'll be like properly exposed. And then on the far left we have this little rotating thing. That thing is used, that's where like right under here is where the film goes, and so you use this to kind of, it like basically you can use it to rewind the film after you're done, and to you can do a lot of things. Basically, and you like pull it up and it'll like take out the film and stuff. But I'm not gonna do that because I have film in my camera right now. So like if you were like putting in film though, you would, oh wait, I totally forgot about one thing. But like if you were putting in film, you'd pull it up, and then like this little compartment back here, this would it would come out, and you would see like two little things, and you'd put in your film on one side, drag your film across to the other side, put it through this little spindle. I think that's what it is. I don't know. But yeah, this tube that has like slots in it, and you would twist it until it's like spun around, and then you would be ready to shoot. You'd close it up, close the thing down, lock it in, and then you could be ready to shoot with your camera. And then also on top we have this thing right here. It's called the hot shoe, and that's where a flash would go. So if you have like a flash, you can like just like attach it to that thing and it will take a picture. And that's without battery, which is kind of cool. It's all like mechanical, so yeah, cool. Then there's another thing you can do. If you want to do like external lighting, there's this little thing that you can take off right here and like plug in external lighting stuff to it, so it will flash when you take a picture. But yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on cameras. I hope you enjoyed it. I've taken 20 pictures. I think one of them is exposed because I accidentally exposed it when I was doing this thing, but so far I have not done that to the other ones, hopefully. And I'm really happy. I'm glad. So yeah, thank you for watching. All right, bye-bye.